You bring up a really, really interesting point. So obviously you're an expert technician and you've taught this to top institutions, to billionaires, to some of the best individual traders in the world. You run in that circle. What happens in with you personally, but also that group of exactly that, the discipline aspect of trading? I've said this in previous interviews, but it's one of my favorite things of it seems like a lot of trading is 70% discipline, 20% skill, and 10% luck. So that discipline thing, obviously now that you've done this for decades, what is there something you do? Is there a trick of the trade to keep the train on the tracks in terms of discipline? When you have your entry rules, ABC, your exit rules, XYZ, we all get that little fear or that greed. Do you have a piece of advice for that? Because I feel like, honestly, after you learn some of the rules of trading, the hardest part truly is discipline.
Yeah. Well, actually, there are quite a few things you can do. And the good thing is, yes, it can be taught and it can be achieved. And I think it's relatively easy. Well, the first thing you have to have in order to have discipline is to eliminate doubts. Because if you start second guessing yourself, then you will be more disciplined. In order to start second guessing yourself, is you must have a trading plan. If you're if you're not driven, if you're not rules based, if you're not model driven, then you will start hesitating and getting in and out with every news item that is available in the market. So the first thing is to have a plan. That sets up the base, if you will, for discipline, because you say, all right, let give me a very simple example. If the market is above, let's say, the 200-day moving average and the MACD is below threshold level, that I will get in. That in and of itself gives you the background of discipline, because you won't be saying, should I enter here or should I enter there? You won't go from forecasting, you go to if-then analysis. If this happens, then I will enter. Now, once you have that, then there are the second thing you can do is have small position sizing. If you don't have a lot of money in stake in the market, that will decrease immediately your emotional association with this particular trade. Imagine, like, let me give you a very hypothetical example. If you had a trade, the exact same trade, and on one side you were risking $1, and in the other you were risking $1 million, and I ask you to manage the exact same position, which one would you be more prone to be less disciplined with?
I mean, the $1 million one, my emotions would be all over the map, because like the slightest move would either make me euphoric or depressed.
Exactly. So the second thing is, first of all, is have a rule set. The second is to try to decrease the emotion, your emotional involvement with your position, so have a small position size. And the third thing one can do to have more discipline is what I call RBT, repetition-based discipline, RBD, which means if you do it over and over and over again, then after a little while, you won't think of it too much. Now, of course, the way to do it, to practice, is on a demo account. And I know most people frown upon it and say, okay, I mean, it's not a real thing. And my reply to that would be, you get 80% of the experience with 0% of the risk. So the more people practice using a trading plan and small position sizing, after a little while, you desensitize your reaction to the markets. To give it via another example, imagine watching a thriller, and the leading person comes in with a knife, stabs someone. Obviously, the first time you see it, you get scared. Now, imagine if you see the same thing 30 times more. After a little while, you know what happens, so it doesn't really scare you. So I think by following these three steps, people can gradually build discipline.